Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
We've got 5 fascinating tech stories for you today. First up, we'll dig into how Google's new AI search could be an apocalypse for websites. Then we'll cover Meta's jaw-dropping $14 billion move, not to buy a company, but to poach its founder. After that, a story that's a bit of a warning. Meta's new AI is apparently posting users' private chats publicly. Yikes. From there, we'll see how OpenAI is now telling chipmaker AMD how to build its next AI chips, a direct shot at Nvidia. And finally, we'll wrap up with Germany's massive new plan to become a sovereign AI power, buying up thousands of those very Nvidia chips. Let's start with a single decision that might just change your entire perspective on the internet. Google says it's about to rejuvenate the web, but many critics are calling it a potential apocalypse for websites. The battle is over Google's new AI mode, a feature that completely replaces the traditional list of links with an AI-generated article. And this isn't some far-off future. The trend is already here. Right now, a remarkable 60% of all Google searches are zero-click ending without a user ever visiting a single website. Google's own head of search, Liz Reed, said it plainly, this is the future of Google search. So the thing is, if the AI gives you the answer directly, why would you ever need to click a link? This one change could crush the business model that has fueled the web for nearly 30 years. One SEO expert isn't mincing words, saying, I think extinction is too strong of a word for what's going to happen to websites. Decimation is the right word. The data seems to back him up. Analysis show Google's existing AI overviews are already slashing traffic to websites by 30 to 70%. And publishers, they have little choice. Internal documents revealed Google silently updated its rules, so websites participating in search automatically give permission for their content to be used by AI. To opt out, they have to opt out of search entirely. The president of the News Media Alliance, a group representing over 2,000 outlets, calls it the definition of theft. While a few giants like Reddit are cashing in, landing $60 million deals to let Google train its AI, millions of smaller creators and businesses face a potential wipeout. This could be the dawn of a new machine web where websites are built for AIs, not humans. But this new AI-driven future hinges on one massive unanswered question. As the CEO of Cloudflare, which services nearly a fifth of all websites, puts it, robots don't click on ads. While Google is trying to conquer the web with its AI, another tech giant is making a completely different kind of power play. It seems Meta just spent over $14 billion not to buy a company, but to hire its founder. Let me break down this incredible deal. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta is pumping an eye-watering $14.3 billion into the AI startup Scale AI. That buys him a massive 49% stake in the company. But what really makes this unique is that Meta gets zero voting power. This wasn't about a corporate takeover. It was about poaching a single person. As part of the agreement, Scale AI's founder, Alexander Wang, is leaving the company he built to go work directly for Meta. In a memo to his employees, Wang said, opportunities of this magnitude often come at a cost. In this instance, that cost is my departure. So why the enormous price tag for one executive? The story goes deeper. Zuckerberg has reportedly grown increasingly frustrated with his own team's AI progress, especially after Meta's latest Llama AI models received a tepid response from developers. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. In a highly unusual move, he's breaking his tradition of promoting insiders and is bringing in an outsider, Wang, to personally oversee Meta's crucial superintelligence efforts. And we're seeing Scale AI's client list read like a who's who of Meta's biggest rivals, Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI. They all rely on Scale AI's technology to build their own AI. Now, their key supplier is nearly half owned by their competitor, which has also just hired away its visionary founder. You have to wonder, did Meta's $14 billion bet to leapfrog its rivals just create an impossible conflict of interest that could blow up in everyone's face? Speaking of Meta's big AI ambitions, their latest product rollout is running into some very public and very personal problems. It turns out people are asking Meta's new AI for help cheating on tests, exploring their gender identity, and generating suggestive images. And in some cases, the AI is posting those chats on a public feed for the entire world to see. This isn't a bug. It's a feature. Meta's new AI has a public discover feed, and it's automatically publishing some user prompts in the AI's answers. The problem is users may have no idea it's happening. While Meta claims sharing is opt-in, the evidence suggests a massive disconnect. The BBC found multiple examples of students uploading photos of their university tests, asking the AI for answers. Another public chat showed a user asking deeply personal questions about their gender and whether they should transition. But that's not the whole picture. The real turning point is this. One internet safety expert calls it a huge user experience and security problem. Why? Because these public posts are often easily traceable right back to the user's personal social media accounts. Their username, their profile picture, it's all there, linking their most private queries to their public identity on Facebook or Instagram. One search, traced back to a person's Instagram account, asked the AI to create an image of an animated character lying outside wearing only underwear. Meta says it provides a warning message and that users are in control. But a top cybersecurity CEO put it bluntly, saying people simply do not expect their private AI chatbot interactions to be made public. Because of this, she says, users are inadvertently posting sensitive info to a public feed with their identity linked. It leaves you with a chilling thought. When you're talking to an AI, who else is listening? These AI models, whether they're working as intended or creating privacy nightmares, all depend on one thing, incredibly powerful computer chips. And that brings us to our next story, where the battle for the hardware that powers AI is seriously heating up. The company behind ChatGPT, OpenAI, is now apparently telling chipmaker AMD exactly how to build its next generation of AI chips. This isn't just a friendly partnership, it's a strategic strike in the high-stakes war for AI dominance aimed directly at the current king, Nvidia. An AMD executive just went on the record revealing that OpenAI's requests have, quote, heavily informed the design of their upcoming MI450 series chips. This is a massive development. For years, the story has been that AMD's hardware was strong, but its software was its Achilles heel, keeping it a distant second. Now, they're not just improving their software, they're bringing in the world's biggest AI players to co-design the hardware from the ground up. And the strategy is already paying off. The CEO of another major AI startup, Cohere, said that getting their software to run on AMD chips used to take weeks. Now, it takes just days. That's a game-changing speed up, and Cohere now calls AMD a meaningful segment of its global computing power. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play. OpenAI didn't just give a few suggestions. According to AMD, they had significant influence on the chip's core memory architecture and, crucially, how thousands of these chips can be strung together to power massive AI models. They even influence the specific kinds of mathematical operations the chips are optimized for. This is a fundamental shift in the power dynamic. AMD is no longer just building hardware and hoping developers show up. It's building custom-tailored systems with direct input from the very companies that could make or break its future. It raises a fascinating possibility, with one of the world's most important AI companies now co-designing the competition's hardware. The uncontested reign of Nvidia could be facing its biggest challenge yet. So we were just talking about the brewing challenge to Nvidia's dominance. Well, our final story today shows exactly why that dominance is so fiercely contested. It seems a major European power is going on a massive shopping spree for those very chips. The global AI arms race has a new front line, and it's running straight through Germany. US tech giant Nvidia is shipping a massive payload of 10,000 of its most coveted GPUs directly to Deutsche Telekom. Their goal? To build a sovereign AI cloud specifically for European manufacturers. Make no mistake, this is more than just a tech deal. It's a strategic power play. For years, Europe has been trying to catch up with the US and China on artificial intelligence, and this move is a major escalation. The plan, set to be implemented by 2026, is part of a much bigger ambition. German political leader Friedrich Merz called investments in strategic AI central to our country's innovative strength, framing this as a critical step for Germany's digital sovereignty and economic future. What really brought this to a head was the next development. Those 10,000 chips from Nvidia are just the start. The German government's real goal is to secure up to 100,000 GPUs to supercharge its industry. Now, here's the fascinating catch. The government is offering a 35% state subsidy to get there. And according to one government official, That means industry has to come up with the other 65%. This isn't a handout, it's a high stakes challenge. So it all boils down to one massive gamble. The European Union is already planning to inject $20 billion into building its own AI infrastructure. The real test will be whether this colossal investment in hardware and this high stakes partnership with an American titan can finally allow Germany and Europe to truly compete in the global AI arena, or if they're just buying an expensive ticket to a game that's already been won.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.